You've decided to buy your first road bike. Amazing! You've taken your first step into a much larger world. But buying your first bike can feel a little overwhelming and confusing because there's seemingly loads of different types made from different material with different components on them. So in this video, we're going to give you a handy guide and tell you exactly what you need to look out for and what the differences are. I'm really passionate about cycling, so anything that gets more people on bikes and share that passion, the better. And that's why we've teamed up with Decathlon. They have a really comprehensive range of bikes with loads of different features, and they also offer great value for money, meaning this is the ideal place for me to show you everything that you need to look for. Oh, and I also need to get a new kite surfing kite as well, so thought I'd kill two birds with one stone. First thing you need to establish is how much money you'd like to spend. But how much money should you spend? Well, there is no right answer to that question when it comes to buying a road bike, but what you can be aware of is that good quality entry-level road bikes typically start around €260 or £250, such as this one here. And then as you spend more money, the frames typically get lighter and stiffer, and the components on those frames, they get lighter and more sophisticated too. For around €600 or £500, you can get yourself a lot of bike for your money. Typically something with an alloy frame, some good entry-level components, and perhaps even disc brakes. And bikes with this kind of spec are incredibly capable. You could definitely, ride up mountains or Alps, perhaps even do a few races on a bike with this kind of spec. And I know that because they're all things that I did on my first road bike. But I would recommend that you don't spend all of your money on the bike alone, as it's good to budget for all those important accessories such as shoes and pedals and clothing and all that stuff. Now, a bit of detail. The first thing that you need to consider when choosing your bike are the components that are fitted to it. And the collective term for the brakes and the gears is the group set. Now, there are different manufacturers of group set: Campagnolo, SRAM, Microshift, and perhaps most famous, Shimano. But regardless of the brand, group sets come in hierarchies or tiers. As you move up the group set hierarchies, they get more expensive and the components get lighter. You typically get more gears, more functionality. They get made from more exotic materials, and the shifting of the gears gets smoother as well. Now, beginner bikes and entry-level road bikes typically come with group sets that are lower down the hierarchy. And an excellent example is this. This is Shimano Sora, which is Shimano's second tier group set, and is commonly found on bikes around the £500 price point. Shimano Sora might be lower down the group set hierarchy, but don't let that put you off. For a beginner or entry-level bike, it's absolutely perfect. My first road bike had Shimano Sora on it, and I rode it up mountains in Mallorca, all over the place. I even did some races on it. But one of the things you should pay attention to is the gear ratios on the group set. This bike has an 1132 cassette on the back, which is what I would recommend for your first road bike. The reason being that this 32 cog at the back of the cassette is really useful for hills. It means that you can ride at a higher cadence, spinning your legs more, and it'll just make hills that bit easier. This is in contrast to some bikes which come with a slightly harder cassette, so an 1128. Pay attention to that, and also the chain set. Now, there's different sizes of chain rings. What I would recommend for your first road bike is a compact chain set. That's a 50-34 like we have here. And it's for the same reason I'd recommend the 32 on the back. It just makes hills that bit easier when you're a beginner. Put simply, if you're a beginner to road cycling and you're wanting gears that are going to help you get up hills, you want bigger ones on the back and smaller ones on the front. As mentioned, brakes also form part of the group set, and broadly speaking there are two distinct types: rim brakes, or as you can see on this bike, disc brakes. Now disc brakes cost a little bit more than rim brakes, but if you live in a hilly area, or you're going to be riding in a hilly area, I'd say they're worth the extra outlay. This is because they offer substantially more powerful braking that's more consistent, especially in the wet, and just better control in general. I do have to stress though that rim brakes are perfectly adequate. They've been used to win the Tour de France for the last 100 years, and they have the advantage of being slightly lighter than disc brakes too. The material that the frame is made from has a massive impact on the overall ride quality of the bike. And the most common materials are aluminium, steel and carbon fibre. From around 250 to 1,000 pounds, euros or dollars, most bikes you find will be made from aluminium alloys. And this is great because aluminium is a really versatile material. It's lightweight with good strength to weight, that's why it's used in aviation. It's also very resistant to corrosion, and it can be manufactured at a much lower cost than carbon fibre, meaning that bikes can be made more affordable. Above 1,000 euros, dollars or pounds, you start to see entry-level carbon fibre bikes, such as this Van Riezel EDR 105, or 105 as they say in France, which is where we are right now. Anyway, carbon fibre is typically lighter and stiffer than aluminium and steel, making for better ride quality. Carbon fibre is a great material for making bikes, but if your budget doesn't stretch to full carbon fibre, don't worry. My first road bike was aluminium, but a good feature to look for is an aluminium bike with a carbon fibre fork. This reduces a bit of weight, it makes the fork much stiffer, and it also reduces road vibration and buzz through the handlebars. Choosing a reputable brand is advisable, as that way you'll know the frame has been properly designed and tested and will also have a solid warranty. Other little details on the frame that are worth looking out for are tyre clearance. The more the better, I would say, as this gives you greater versatility. You can put some wider tyres on if you want to like stray off-road and have a little adventure. Mounting points are useful as well, as these allow you to attach things like mud guards, pannier racks and a whole host of other accessories. And a final detail on the frame is the bottom bracket. This is the bearings where the chain set is. Any bike that has outboard bearings in a threaded bottom bracket gets bonus marks in my book, as these tend to require less maintenance and last longer. I'm now going to tell you about wheels. I mean, they're kind of a key component on any bike. Now, entry-level bikes tend to come with entry-level wheels. This is because it's the most popular component that cyclists upgrade on their bikes further down the line when they get more into the sport. And they'll typically swap them for something that's lighter, stiffer, and perhaps more aerodynamic. But with these improved performance areas on the wheel comes increased cost. And that's why, to keep the price down on entry-level bikes, they'll come with a more basic wheel. But when assessing the wheels that your bike comes with, what I'd suggest you look for is a really high spoke count, as this helps make the wheel stronger and more robust. I'd also suggest you look at the rim width. You ideally want rims that are going to suit wider tyres better, so a slightly wider rim width, such as 25mm tyres or 28mm tyres. Wider tyres can offer a bit more comfort, a bit more grip, and they also have slightly lower rolling resistance, meaning that, well, you can go the same speed for slightly less effort. I'm now going to give you some other quick-fire information that you need to know when buying your first road bike. Road bike saddles are designed to be used with padded shores, which means it's normal for them to feel uncomfortable without padded shores. Also, saddle comfort is very personal, so it's normal for riders to often swap something out that better suits their preference. Most road bikes don't come with pedals, although some low-end bikes do come with flat pedals. However, if you're going to be doing longer rides or sportives, we'd recommend you upgrade to some clipless pedals and shoes, as these will allow you to push down and pull up with the pedal stroke, making you a bit more efficient. You can also get women's-specific bikes. These tend to have the same frame, but have different contact points on them to account for the anatomical differences between the sexes. So you'll get a specific women's saddle, slightly shorter stem, narrower bars, and slightly shorter cranks. But this isn't necessarily essential. We suggest you go for whatever is most comfortable for you. You may be interested in gravel or mixed surface bikes. These are essentially road bikes with a few modifications to make them more versatile. So you have increased tyre clearance, bigger volume tyres which are much more capable off-road, easier gears, you can see this massive sprocket on the cassette here, and disc brakes. And this means that you've essentially got a drop bar road bike that's going to be much faster on road than a mountain bike, but also capable of going on gravel or bridleways, something you wouldn't want to do on a standard road bike. This versatility means they're ideal for mixed surfaces, people that want to go on adventures, perhaps do some bike packing, or maybe you're just a commuter who doesn't want to just stick to roads. Also, you can swap out the knobbly tyres for some skinny, slick road ones and you've, well, essentially got a road bike. I'm a big fan of this breed of bicycle, and entry-level gravel bikes can be found for around £500 or €600. Decathlon's brilliant, managed to find my new kite, but also a load of other stuff that I totally forgot that I needed. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video and found it informative, then please give us a like and a follow. And now you've decided on the bike that you want, you're probably going to need to know how to determine the size you need. Fortunately, we've got videos on that and a load of other really useful beginner content. I'm going to go home now and play with my toys.